Hi guys, this is my beautiful model Maria.
Hi.
And I'm gonna show you guys how I did it to create this beautiful bridal Hollywood waves. I'm gonna go ahead and do her little spin so that way you guys can see the backside as well. This is how it looks. Okay, so before we go ahead and start off with styling her hair, I like to use the BTZ heat protector. The reason why I like using this one is because not just the fact that it's oil based, but if you guys notice, it also adds a lot more shine to their hair and it helps control all the frizziness. So that's the reason why I like this one, and you guys can find it at Sally's. For sure, I'm pretty sure you guys can order it off Amazon. I would have to check on that again, but the only place I've been able to find it is Sally's, so I don't really know what other store you guys can find it at. So now that you are done brushing her hair, since the look that we decided today is going to have a parting right in the middle, I go ahead and just part it in the middle. And then whenever we're doing the Hollywood waves with the bump, I go ahead and just try to figure out which is her best angle or which was her best side. And then I just go ahead and do the bump on that side. Sometimes it's easier for you just to ask them to see which side they're more comfortable with. But for me, I tend to ask, and then sometimes they're like, oh, it goes better this side, but then they end up not liking it. So I always do it the way that makes them look more better. Turn your head this way, right here. And then not all the way back to like probably, you want to say like halfway on the top of her head. You're going to pass the tip of the brush all the way to the back of her ear. And then that's where you're going to part her hair. And it's okay if you don't get a straight line off the first try. I mean, as you guys could tell, I wasn't able to go ahead and just part it off the first try. Usually I am, but you guys could always just go back and redo it again. But that's exactly how you want the line. You want it to be close to the back of her ear as much as you can. Usually when you're doing the other style Hollywood waves where it has the parting to the side, you're going to want to grab a lot more than this. But since we're going to grab this and place it down, this is all that I'm gonna go ahead and grab. Now that we have the front side parted, we're gonna go ahead and just pin up the rest of her hair. And the reason why I like doing this is because it's always easier for me when it comes to this hairstyle to pin up the backside first and then do the waves. You could either do the waves first and then pin this back, but I feel like if it comes out to be a little bit more complicated, so I just go ahead and do it this way. And then for the front side, I just grab the hair and then just brush it to the back. I don't really add hairspray just yet because in case it doesn't come out the way that I want it or that the client likes it, then I could go ahead and just take it off and then redo it again without it having any hairspray or without it being any hard pieces of the hair or anything like that. But just go ahead and try and keep it as much as you can flat. And don't worry about the flyaways, don't worry about anything, because that's literally what you're going to work on at the end. And then we're going to go ahead and put this behind her ear. And then once we have it there, we're just going to leave it there. And then we're going to do the same thing with this side. Now that she has both sides on the back, we're going to grab a little headband and we're just going to go ahead and tie them together. You want to be careful not to grab any other hair that's not the front sides that you just parted, because I have noticed that of course it's not just does it pull them and sometimes even makes the hair a little bit uncomfortable, but it could also mess up some Hollywood waves and you'll be curling some unnecessary hair. Not even that, but then you won't be grabbing the right amount of hair on the Hollywood waves and it's just a mess. So try and be try and be careful with what hair or flyaways you grab when you tie the hair. And then now that you have it like that, just go ahead and make it a little bit tighter. Now that we have this side tied up, we're gonna go ahead and curl it first. So the curling wand that I'm using is from Bedhead. I believe this one is a 1 inch. I usually like using the 3/4 of an inch whenever you're trying to add more volume to the hair and more waves. Those are usually the waves that are more dramatic. If you guys have seen the different styles of Hollywood waves there is, that's the one that has a lot more volume and a lot more waves. I recommend using that one. But this one, I want it to be a little bit more settled, so I'm going to be using the 1 inch for today. Now that we have this warmed up, we're going to go ahead and grab her hair, and we are going to put the wand underneath her hair, and we're going to twist every single time we're passing the hair over the wand. So twist, pull, twist, pass over, and then twist. And we're going to keep it there for about 30 to 40 seconds. Some people tend to leave it, the hair on the wand or the curling iron, depends on what you use, a lot longer. I've seen some people have left it on there for like about 2 minutes. And those are usually the people that have very, very straight hair that are very hard to curled and stubborn. So that's why they always go ahead and leave the hair on the wand for a lot longer. But her hair is actually very workable, so we're not going to leave it there for 2 minutes. And then once we're done with that, we're going to go ahead and hold the curl on our hand for a little bit. What you could also do is, if you don't want to hold it with your hand right away, just pen it with one of these pans. You could just grab it and then just pin it like that. Just like that. And then your curl will come out perfectly fine. So once we're done with that, I'm gonna let the curl go for a little bit. It has to look like that. Unless you're doing it with a different, smaller wand, then you're gonna have a lot more curls. But once I have it that way, I'm gonna go ahead and spray the curl with my Workable Shine Hairspray. This one is a medium hold, so this one will not, this doesn't have a good grip on the hair, so this one I recommend for you to use it before you add a finishing hairspray. And what I like about this one is that it doesn't just have a medium hold, so it's workable, but it also has a really nice shine to the hair. So once we're done spraying it, we're gonna go ahead and just kind of control all the frizziness and just pass your hand through the curl. And then once we're done with that, we're gonna go ahead and pass the comb. So now that you have the piece that you tied up waved and curled, you're gonna go ahead and part her hair, and you want to grab each layer about 1 inch or so. You don't want to grab too little or too much. I find it always easier to just grab about 1 inch, and it works for me. But you grab however much hair you want and whatever will work for you. So now that we have this layer done, I'm gonna go ahead and pass the comb, so that way I make sure I have no type of tangles in there. And now that that's done, on this side, I'm gonna go ahead and curl the entire layer. So I'm gonna pass my 2 fingers, and I'm gonna have 1 curl right here, 1 curl right here, and 1 curl right here. So as you go up the hair, you're gonna want to do more and more curls. So once again, now that we have it this way, we're gonna put the wand underneath the hair. We're gonna pull the hair around the wand, and we're gonna twist the hair, and then pull, twist, pull, twist, pull, twist. And you're gonna keep doing that throughout every entire curl you do. And you're just gonna keep the hair there for a little bit, not too long, unless it's stubborn hair and it's hair that's very, very, very straight, and sometimes the curls don't last, then for sure leave it there for a couple minutes. But for right now, we're just gonna leave it there for a little bit. Put the curl in your hand and squish as much as you can, and then go ahead and just let go. And then that's how it should look. So we're gonna go ahead and curl this one. Once again, pull, twist, pull, twist, pull, twist. And you're gonna keep doing that every single curl you do. Do not forget. And we're just gonna keep it like that for a little bit. And now that we have it like that, put it in our hand. You'll get used to the heat of the hair on your hand, so it's not something that you should rush to or, you know, force yourself to do. Just keep it in your hand as much as you can, and if you can't, just go ahead and let go. And then as I go and do the backside, I'm just gonna go ahead and keep on repeating the process throughout the entire hair in the back. And then once we get halfway of the hair on the closer to like the top of her head, we're gonna go ahead and switch it up a little bit, but I'll explain it better once I get to that part. For now, every single curl I do, every step is gonna be the same. So now that we have this part a little bit more, less than half of the hair parted and more than half of the hair curled, we're gonna go ahead and use this powder to tease every layer that we part, and we're gonna tease it and apply this powder closer to her scalp as much as we can. And with this one, it's gonna not just make it easier for you to tease, but it's also what's going to add volume to the hair. So I'm gonna go ahead and part her hair. I'm gonna move her a little bit this way. Part the hair the same way that you've been parting it for every single layer. And with this part, I would recommend that you have it for sure, extremely straight as much as you can. Just because when you tease it, you want every bump you make, every tease you make to be the same level. So now that we have this part layered, we're gonna go ahead and pin this side. We're gonna grab the powder and we're gonna grab a comb. Pass your finger through her hair one time just so that way it doesn't have any tangles. Flip the hair over and then add the powder to her scalp. And don't be afraid to add as much powder as you want. I usually add a lot, as you guys can tell, but you really don't need that much. But me, I just like to do it. So now that we have that, pull the hair. Don't pull too much because you do not want to hurt the client, but pull the hair straight as much as you can. And then try to tease going all the way down close to her scalp, as you guys can tell. Let me go ahead and put the powder down so I can show you guys. Then when you're done doing one tease, you're gonna go ahead and pass the comb because it helps you have a better grip on pulling the hair straight, and it makes it easier for you to tease. Because if you tease like that, it's hard for you to tease, and this needs to be straight in order for the tease to come out good. So if you guys notice the difference, like it's hard for me to tease like that. But if you pass the comb and have a good grip, it's easier. Pass the comb, have a good grip on it, and then tease. I'm gonna go ahead and do this side because I have not teased it yet, but we're gonna pass the comb and then tease. And you guys see how easy it was for me to just create the tease? Exactly like that. And I'm gonna go ahead and show you guys how it's gonna look. If you guys notice, it already has a bump, a good amount of layer, but it also has, it matches the volume on each side. That's why I said to go ahead and part it going a straight line, because you want exactly like that. And if you don't have it, and if it doesn't come out like that, you're perfectly fine. Just patch the brush and style it. the way that you want it. You could always put it down if it's too big for you. And then what I like about this powder is that if you push it up, you guys see, it stays up. Okay, so now that we have it like that, I like to go ahead and kind of style the ends a little bit to getting the form over here, and it's not just a straight bump. So I kind of just make it almost cover the ends of the hair, so that way when I part it, it makes the curl and it gets enough parting the way that I want it. Curl it the way that I want it. Okay, so now it's the same concept. We're just gonna part the hair however much we want to grab, so that way we can curl the hair. Pass your hand or a comb, whatever makes it easier for you, so that way there's no tangles. And then you pass the hair over, you twist, you pass the hair over, you twist, pass the hair over, you twist. And then you keep doing this as much as you can. The only difference is just teasing. That's it. That's literally the only difference that the only different thing you do throughout the entire hair when you get to the top. For this part, it's going to be the same process where you just curl and then hold the curl in your hand for a couple seconds. And you just kind of let it sit there just so that way the heat can stay in the curl. But other than that, I'm going to fast forward this clip a little bit since it's basically the same thing that we've been doing with the rest of the hair. And yeah, I hope you guys are enjoying this video. We're going to do the same thing as last time, where we're going to apply a good amount of powder. We're going to have a good grip on the hair, and then we're going to tease going down close to her root as much as we can. Pass the comb and then pull down. Pass the comb and then pull down. And then if you guys notice, this side's bigger than this side. I'm going to go ahead and just tease this side a little bit more, so that way it's teased evenly. Usually sometimes I would just lower this side, but I want a little bit more volume on the top. So there you go. And then style the sides and then go ahead and start curling the hair. This is the last layer, and we're going to do things a little bit different. So before I tease the hair, what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab my straightener and I'm going to straighten just about right here. So like not halfway the hair, but a little bit before halfway of your client's hair. So that way the top has no frizziness or anything like that. And since it is the part where your clients are going to see the most, you wanted more control as much as you can. And just pass your straightener close to her scalp as much as you can without burning her, because I have noticed that sometimes it leaves them the straightener's mark if you don't do it too close to the scalp. But if you guys could tell, I literally went like about right here, which is where the first layer of the waves starts. So that's just about what you want to do. On this part, I do not tease. What I do is I just add a little bit of powder just to kind of give it a little bit of volume, but I really am not going to tease it at all. And then now that we have it like that, I'm going to go ahead and grab that entire layer, and then I am going to grab the sections that I am going to curl. About every curl that I did was about 2 inches. So if you guys can see, that's how much I'm going to be grabbing on this. And I'm going to do the same method I did on the wand throughout every curl that I did, which is just pass the curl and twist, pass the curl and twist. I am also offering one-on-one classes. I have 3 different packages that also includes makeup classes as well. I would be more than happy to get you guys booked for a class. The 3 different packages have different things, different items that it includes and different styles and number of styles that it includes. But they will all be on a real model. So if you guys are interested in learning on a real model, not a mannequin, for sure hit me up and I'll be happy to schedule you guys in. So for this part, I went ahead and already turned off my wand. These 3 items are gonna be your best friend. I have a tendency that I always go use this one and then I use this one and then I go back and forth between these 2. But every single time I'm about to brush the hair, I'm always going to use this one. This one for sure is what I'm going to use constantly. And this brush is only going to be used for the top, which is what I want to kind of, you know, control all these hairs that we have popping out over here. So before applying the hairspray on her hair, I'm going to brush off the front layer first. And if you guys could tell, you guys could already see how this layer is going to go and where it's going to start. And then we're going to go ahead and keep brushing the top as much as we can. I'm going to turn you this way. And this is why it's really important for me to pass the comb first, because if you guys notice, this side was starting to show a little bit. But as I pass the comb, it starts to hide any imperfections that I have left. And then I'm just going to go ahead and keep using this as much as I want to, or until I feel more comfortable. And then look at that. Can you guys see how this layer started to create itself? We're going to go ahead and keep doing the same thing on the rest of the hair. And there you go. There's going to be the first layer. So now that I have it the way that I want it, which is flawless, I'm just kidding, which is brushed, we're going to go ahead and spray her hair. It's really important the way that you angled your hairspray and the way that you apply it, because if you apply it going this way, you run the risk of these hairs going up. And the hairspray has a tendency to get sticky, and you do not want any hairs on the top to just stay up, right? So what you're gonna do is you're gonna go ahead and get in front of her hair and spray going backwards. So the way, the angle that you use your hairspray is the way that your hair is gonna go. So if you guys see, I did it from front to back, and that's because I'm gonna go ahead and brush the hair to the back. And then with my hand, as you guys can tell, I'm just passing it through her hair just for more control over the frizziness. And then do not freak out about this part, because this part has to do with the front side. So I'm not going to mess with it. Me messes with it. Okay. And then one more time, just pass the hairspray. And then don't be afraid if stuff like that happens. Just keep brushing it until you get it to the way that you want it. For the rest of the hair, that's when the big comb comes into place. I'm going to put this on the side for a little bit. So that way what I'm going to do is the first wave that I have, I'm going to put the comb in there as much as I can. And I'm just going to go ahead and put my hand right here. So that way it has a good grip on the hair and it doesn't pull her. And then I'm just going to brush all the waves. And if you guys notice, the waves started creating themselves. And then we're just going to go ahead and do that same technique to the rest of the hair. And in every layer, so let's say you have this layer ready the way that you want it and you like the way that this layer of wave is, go ahead and put your hand where the dent of the wave starts at, so that way it helps you have a better grip on this side and it doesn't mess up this top layer that you got going on. But you guys see kind of how it's going to start looking. That's how you want it. So once again, I'm going to go ahead and push my hand right here, pass the comb, and then don't be afraid if it messes up here, it's perfectly fine. You're going to go back. Pass the comb all the way down, and you see how it formed right here. I'm going to put my hand, and then I'm going to keep brushing down. Now that it has the way that I want it on this side, I'm going to leave it like that, and then go towards the middle And then I'm gonna do the same thing. Exactly like that. And now I'm gonna put my hand right here on this layer, just because I like the way that this one comes out and I do not wanna pull her and I do not wanna miss this side. So we're just gonna go ahead and keep brushing it as much as we can. Before I go ahead and apply the hairspray, I usually ask them if they want hair in the front. Do you want hair in the front? Yeah? Okay. So what I like to do is I like to have the curls going away from the face. So since we went this way, I'm gonna go ahead and just grab a little bit of curls, put them in the front. I'm gonna go ahead and grab the big comb, and then I'm gonna spray her hair from top to bottom. And then I'm gonna put my hand right here where the first dent starts, and then I'm gonna brush down. Sorry about your hair. Oh, your shirt. Okay, as you guys can tell, the first layer started creating itself. That's exactly what we want. Do not freak out about this, because once you grab the spray and you put your hand right there, it's going to stick together and it's gonna go back. So I'm gonna go ahead and put more on the next layer. So I'm not gonna apply any more right here. I'm gonna apply more on the next layer. You could always have like little frizzy hairs, just hide them. But we are gonna go ahead and apply our hand right there where the dent goes to, and then brush down. Do the same thing for the rest of the layer and brush down, and then do the same thing again. Exactly like that. And then if, let's say, you pull the hair on accident like I did right here, just grab the end of the comb and just kind of stick them together. Exactly like that. And if you guys notice, it kind of made itself go back into where it should be at, or the way that you want it. If you have hairs right here on the side, just add hairspray, pass your hand through it, just kind of stick them together and have them like that. If you have hair right here, once again, pass your hand. Some people always like using the end of their comb to stick the hair together. It just comes out with the preference that you want it. Me personally, I find it more easier for me to use the side of my hand. So now, once again, I have that the way that I want it. I'm gonna go ahead and do the next layer, which is right here on the bottom. If you guys could tell, please, please, please spray the way that you want the hair to go to. If you want the hair to go up, then by all means freeze it up. But spray it up. But I want the hair to go down, so go ahead and spray from top to bottom. Now that you have it like that you already went ahead and sprayed her hair, add your hand right here, and right where you have your hand, brush the hair. So if you guys notice this side separated, I just like sticking it together and grabbing it with my hand, so that way it stays together. And it's gonna look like that. And then I'm gonna go ahead and add more hairspray, pull my hand, and keep brushing it. Add more hairspray. Well, I was gonna add more hairspray, but I already added hairspray right here. So it should look a little bit like that. And if you have the ends like this, just go ahead and kind of hide them in the back of your hair. And then right here, we're gonna go ahead and apply more hairspray. Stick the hair together as much as we can. Put our hand and just brush it out. And then I'm gonna go through it one more time with the brush, so that way it makes it easier for me to do the next layer. Now that we have it like that, I'm gonna go ahead and apply hairspray to this layer. I'm gonna put my hand and then brush it off. So it's literally the same steps over and over and over again on the waves. You just have to be patient and just brush it the way that you want it. If you guys can tell, it's slowly started coming out the way that you want. And then I'm gonna go ahead and move on to this front side. For this front side, I'm gonna go ahead and close your eyes. Apply the hairspray going up to bottom, top to bottom. And then with my hand, I'm just gonna settle down any flyaways that she has. And then I'm gonna spray hairspray one more time. And then with the brush, I'm gonna go ahead and lightly just brush it down. And then with the tip of the brush, I like flattening her hair. And then just one more time, just place any hair in the back of her ear. And then just push the front a little bit to the front. Push the front of the hair a little bit to the front, just so that way it covers her ear. And then with your finger, just kind of start brushing off the flyaways the way that you want it. On this side, we already added some pearls. I'm gonna show you guys how I went ahead and did that. So what I'm gonna use is the dual eyelash glue, the one that has a brush. And I'm just gonna randomly apply a good amount of glue anywhere in the hair where I would kind of want the pearls to go to. And you could really just apply it anywhere. I mean, it really doesn't matter unless you have, you want it all in a straight row or anything like that. But I always do it randomly. And then I let wherever I apply the glue kind of just guide me how it's gonna look with the pearls. And I don't ever do glue first and then pearl and then glue, pearl, because I want the glue to get tacky, because when it gets tacky, it helps get a good grip on the pearl and helps it last a lot longer. So I'm gonna add a little bit right here because this I got a little bit tacky quick, and then I believe I'm gonna add one more like right here, a small one. And I think that's all I'm gonna do. I'm gonna go ahead and add one more right here. So I think that's all I'm gonna do. And then I'm gonna add my pearls. These pearls, I got them off Amazon. I got 3 different kinds for a total of, I believe it was $8 or $9. It came with another set of pearls, which was a lot more of a bright white. This one's more like a cream color. And then it came with some rhinestones. With my finger, I go ahead and just place the pearl onto her hair, and then I do the same thing for the rest of the hair. If you see, it automatically right away just grabbed the glue and it got stuck to it, which is what we want. I'm just randomly applying pearls onto the hair, so it's all not going in a in a set line or in a set direction. It's not just being applied randomly. But that is how I apply the pearls. And then once I'm done with that, I also go ahead and hairspray it, just so that way the pearls, stay there a lot longer. But I don't use the hairspray that I used earlier, which was the medium hold. The pink one, if you guys saw which one I'm talking about, it was the pink one. I'm gonna use another hairspray, which I'll go ahead and show you guys here in a little bit. I'm gonna go ahead and grab the Got To Be Glue hairspray. This one, if you guys saw, I did not even one time use it throughout the rest of the hair, because I find it easier for me to just use it as a finishing hairspray, because once you use it, it has a good tendency to not be workable. So what I'm gonna do is put my hand right here to cover her eyes, and then just spray from top to bottom, right where I applied the pearls. I literally just do that just so that way it helps the pearls stick a lot longer and have a better grip on the hair. But so far, that's just how it looks from the top. It looks like that. I'm gonna go ahead and apply some pearls on the side of the hair, and I believe we're gonna go ahead and wrap it up, and I believe that's all we're gonna go ahead and do for today. And this is how she looks. I hope you guys enjoyed my video, and don't forget to subscribe. Also follow me on TikTok. I do post a lot more shorter videos, and follow me on Instagram as well.